Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Grand Tactician, the Civil War, the Whiskey and Lemons DLC, playing in our Union campaign. We are currently fighting the Battle of Hanover Junction just north of Richmond with just the one division that we command, dueling it out with rebel forces in this wood line here. We fought a little bit of a skirmish in the morning of the first day of the battle, sort of out west here. Our cavalry slowed the enemy but didn't defeat them. We then fought a short, sharp engagement with about 4 enemy regiments on this roadway as they came up and ran into our breastworks. We had about 3 regiments of our own engaged, and we threw those rebels back pretty convincingly. And now we're just dueling with artillery here on the morning of the second day of the battle in April of 1863. We do see some rebels moving, so they may be trying to extend their line and flank us. The forces in this fight, in theory, are fairly evenly matched. About 10,000 Federal troops, about 10,000 Confederate troops on the field of battle so far. Casualties are 173 to 400 so far. But at the moment, we're just turning money into noise as our artillery pounds away at them at range and uses precious ammo that we can't get back. The enemy is shooting our back at us as well. We took one of their batteries. I think they only have the one more. I think they had 16 guns starting in the battle, and well, maybe they have 2 more. So I think they lost 1 battery, which we captured. But yeah, you can see a little bit of dueling going on here. Not a lot of exciting action here at 7 in the morning. I don't want to accelerate time too much because the way the game's morale works, if you go past ×2, stuff starts getting wonky. But I don't particularly want to make you watch 10-20 minutes of just artillery shooting back and forth. So I think we're going to jump ahead a few minutes here and we'll see what happens in the battle. If anything of consequence happens, I will come back right away. All right, boys, we're back. By the way, I love the way the artillery looks in this game. I love the air bursts and all of that jazz. For some reason, the Rebs have brought up an individual brigade, the 16th Kentucky, or individual regiment, the 16th Kentucky, with only about 250 boys, and they are storming into 2 regiments of ours here on the flank, both of which are already shooting them up pretty badly. We've got over 1,300 muskets in line, 2 batteries of artillery firing into their flank, and the 16th Kentucky just came up, maybe to probe our line, I'm not sure which, but they just getting wrecked up here. They are bringing up the 2nd Kentucky Cavalry as well. I wish the AI in this was better at launching cohesive assaults, which made sense, because I can just kind of sit back and let them come at me. 16th Kentucky already lost better than 1/4 of their men. And now we're engaging just 600 more men as they kind of come up this line. And there you go. We just routed that enemy regiment here. 16th Kentucky is running for their lives, and now the 2nd Kentucky is going to do it all by themselves. They're bringing up the 18th Kentucky. They're kind of, well, if I'd say they're attacking an echelon, but they're attacking one at a time. I don't know what they tell you not to do in military school, but, you know, attacking an echelon can make sense because you can pin the enemy, cause them to redirect their focus in one way, and then you hit them after they move troops around. The echelon attack at Gettysburg was pretty famous. But attacking one individual regiment at a time at the same position, this is not covering any commanding officer in glory, although I think they're commanded by General Polk maybe, so that might be historically accurate of him not being a very good commander. 18th Kentucky is coming up. 2nd hasn't quite routed, but they've definitely lost a considerable number of boys here. Kind of Mary's hiding it. We've got a 3rd regiment here in action, the 16th New York, firing into their flank. We're just shredding these boys. That Kentucky regiment is now routed. We've got artillery firing on both flanks of the assault. Sort of. Not quite. I don't know that I'd call it flanking artillery fire, but it's firing from either end of our firing line into the kind of the edge of the enemy line. Maybe not quite bowling pins down the line, but it's something. In any event, looks like we're going to rout another enemy regiment here. The 18th came up about 500, about 600 men. They're getting shattered pretty good. So you can see the casualties up here, 198 to 600 so far. Not a good day for the rebels at all. We just routed a second enemy regiment. We didn't actually rout the 2nd Kentucky fully. We didn't get a plus 25 for that. But definitely for the 18th Kentucky, which lost about 1/6 of their total men. I'm not sure if the enemy's trying to find our flank. They've definitely extended their own line here, and they've got troops marching through these woods over here on the right, but they are nowhere near the edge of our line. We got a lot of breastworks. We built more than we needed all the way out here to the right, so if we've got to shift troops around, we've got positions to put them in. We also put our skirmishers out here to the flank as well. Another enemy regiment coming up. Again, I'd say this feels historically stupid, but then again, things like Fredericksburg happened, so... And Malvern Hill. So maybe this isn't quite as unrealistic. You know, maybe the idea is like, hey, we'll make them use up all their ammo on our bodies before eventually they'll give way. We actually are burning through quite a bit of ammo here. We're down under 20 rounds on 3 of our regiments all on this position. So that could start to matter. 4th Kentucky's also coming up here. 6th Kentucky's withdrawing. So the pressure is kind of starting to mount. Bring the 23rd Mass up here as a reserve. Just in case we need some units with a little bit more ammo. Bring the 30th Maine over as well. So we'll bring 2 units from one flank over, use our interior lines to reinforce, so that hopefully by the time these 3 regiments are critically low on ammo, although they're burning through that at kind of an alarming rate, we're able to bring fresh troops in. Actually, they shifted their attack a little bit to the right, to the 29th New York, which is fresh on ammo too, so that helps. While our artillery is doing its job. Not quite sure if they're in canister range or not. Not sure why they'd be bringing their guns forward like this either. We'll bring the 1st Vermont up to flank them. But yeah, this is not going the Rebs' way. Let's go knock out this battery of artillery. Send them in on the charge. Probably wipe out that battery. We did. And we routed those boys, so go charge them now. Wonder if we convince the enemy to retreat. This is very Napoleonic, charging into retreating infantry in the open. Not quite something that I think ever happened in the Civil War. Not at scale in any event. Inflicting any casualties on these guys, or are they just running? I'm not sure if the enemy's beginning their retreat. A lot of times they'll start retreating before the battle's actually lost. But, oh, there you go. 22 casualties inflicted there. So 1st Vermont's getting a little bit of the pursuit credit that the 14th Pennsylvania got in the last battle. We don't want to pursue into the full enemy line if they retreat back that way, but 33 more casualties inflicted there. Do the total war thing where you run down an enemy unit and defeat it. 42 more casualties inflicted. All right, boys, stop your pursuit. Please stop your pursuit. Wow. We inflicted over 60% casualties on those enemies. Be cool if the enemy launched a 10,000 man assault on our position. I don't know that I've ever seen the AI do that. They launch like a... I've seen them attack, obviously. And they've won battles too. But it's usually a little bit haphazard. It would be cool if you could see like an actual, like, just a wall of infantry go forward rather than kind of a blob or piecemeal assaults that kind of overlap and overwhelm you. It'd just be cool if it was like, I don't know, like something like Pickett's Charge or something. Never seen that. All right, with those casualties, the enemy's up to 1,300 casualties. We were about 250. I'm not going as aggressive as maybe I could, in part because the enemy seems obliged to keep sending forward small attacks, and why would you stop an enemy? Also, they've got really good, like, I don't want to move into these wood lines with nearly equal odds. Well, maybe I should. Kind of done the Gettysburg too, where my force is very disorganized at this point. Man, that's long range. I don't even think the enemy can shoot at me at this range. Push forward again. Maybe they're trying to throw some men on those guns and retake them for themselves. Colonel Joseph Reynolds is an old hand at this. Men, huh? Gladly rip to pieces another one of your regiments. You have another one moving through the woods here, the 45th Georgia. And I have created a few gaps in my line here to strengthen my left. Go knock out those guns. How's that detachment not broken yet? Alright, we just routed that regiment here. 12th Alabama. Get him in the flank. Oh shit. Maybe don't. Maybe pull back. There's a lot of enemy infantry, a lot of muskets there that can rip you apart. So we withdrew that cavalry out of there. That was actually an effective use of cavalry where we didn't rout. At least we haven't yet. We're able to order them to retire. Meanwhile, this is the largest assault we've seen so far, if this does come forward. 5 regiments, actually 6 over here. So I was getting a little bit of what I was asking for. 7 if you include the 45th Georgia over here. It's actually... oh crap, these guys are already shooting. We're going to pull the 8th New York back. If I can. We're going to move the 23rd Mass in. I should have done that before they were engaged. But they need fresh ammo. Order the 31st New York back. The 30th Maine in. If the enemy rush our positions, they could possibly overwhelm us. I'm ordering these men to move. Did I order them to withdraw? After they're already engaged, which is usually bad. We do have the 29th New York here to hopefully hold the position. But you can see the enemy is trying to push forward here with their skirmishers. Oh, why the brigade commander's so far back. Enemies coming forward, and I've pulled 1 regiment back, and I have not got these other units forward yet. Alright, here they're starting to move. Oh, you should really not do that. Just go there. Don't shoot from there. Get into the actual earthworks. Don't shoot in the open. This is silly. This is poorly executed on my part. I should have swapped these units out before the enemy assault came forward. I've got troops out in the open who are gonna take casualties that don't need to be taken. Since this assault is coming forward, though, we're going to try and move our left flank forward here, so we can catch them in the flank. I did issue the advance order, which basically means keep firing if you're engaged, but do it while you're moving forward to that new position. 29th New York. Alright, so we got 2 batteries of artillery, actually just 1. Let's get these guys to come forward on the flank too. Credit to the Rebs. They did what I wanted them to do now after kind of dicking around and losing more men than they probably should have. They've started to launch a coordinated assault. We are countering that with a flank attack of our own. The flank of that assault. I do not think this will work well for the AI, but things have surprised me more than this if this were to not go as well as I would like. Fast. Oh, the artillery's low on canister, I think. reserves are going to move forward here. Alright, so those new troops did get forward. They are engaging the enemy in a pretty tightly contested fight so far. Lockwood's boys are going forward. So Salt is sort of converging on this one tree line here. We've got 4 regiments on the firing line now. Nope, nope, nope. Don't do that. Vermont, you're gonna get yourself destroyed. I think the first Vermont's in trouble. That cavalry unit is... casualties. Just charging my cavalry. 14th Pennsylvania's kind of out there on an island. Order that cavalry to retreat, hopefully before they break. They already lost over 100 men. That's not great. On that flank. Most of my troops are engaged. I've got a handful of skirmishers on the flank, just in position to hold the line there. Some heavy meleeing going on over here on this flank. $63 casualties inflicted? Jesus. 14th Pennsylvania is, it says they're broken, but doing their thing. God damn it, the 18th York broke too. Well, that in melee on the left flank was not good. Regiments advancing on the right, I think, are having a pretty big impact. Maybe the 14th can rally. They're a pretty experienced unit. But yeah, general engagement definitely underway here. Breastworks are working to our advantage. We haven't lost 1,000 men yet. We've lost 700. Despite the heavy meleeing on the flank. The enemy's lost over 2,100 men. It's over 20% of their force. This could well turn into a major victory if we can get them to stay engaged long enough to get their casualties high enough. I don't know where those horses are going. What is that anyway? Get them to more than 29% casualties. I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe if we issue some charge orders, get some melees going. That's also a real quick way to turn this battle around and lose it. We'll order a wide-scale charge on the left flank. Hell, just a general advance. Go ahead and charge them all, boys. It's the cavalry's job, but let's get some melee in. Oh, the 17th mast broke. Kentucky's gonna be evaporated here. Yeah, they're about to officially retreat. They're not gonna get to 29%. Enemy's retreating. We got an hour to pursue. Now, if they did form a line and we charged into it and a whole bunch of our units got routed, it is very much possible to, like, lose after you've won. I've seen it happen. But it's not common. If I were to eliminate like a whole regiment, I suppose in theory we could get the percentages we need, but I don't think that's likely at this point. Kilpatrick is losing men. No shit. Kilpatrick was famous for killing his own men. I think we just obliterated whatever that regiment was. Charge, boys. Keep up the pressure. Keep it up. Keep going. Don't bother to stop and shoot. Just charge. Meanwhile, I think I got most of the prestige back I spent on promoting myself. We're up 1.2, 1.4, basically 1.4. That's what I spent. Definitely got back all the money I spent equipping my boys. Seems like the equipping those men was well worth it. We're gonna melee that enemy regiment. They didn't really lose any men. We're engaging the 47th Georgia, which is tired, but they haven't lost any men, so it's a very good chance we lose a disproportionate number of men in this melee. The enemy's able to hold their morale together. But we've got like 6 regiments charging in on them now. To be fair, our guys are probably pretty blown too. But see if we can mop these boys up. They're kind of acting as the rear guard for the rest of this enemy army as they attempt to escape. But in close. They surrender? They did. I almost never see that. The 47th Georgia Infantry's wiped out. We captured 429 of them. And actually, that was enough to change us over to a major victory because now the enemy's lost over 29% of their force. 3,000 to just about 1,000 here. So that was a huge success. Overwhelming that enemy regiment, forcing it to surrender. Again, that almost never happens in my experience in this game. But that was a decisive moment there. Glad to see it happen. All right, we're going to speed this up a bit. I doubt I'll catch any more of the enemy force in 30 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever we have now. We're getting some more prestige. We get some routes. So yeah, we're up to 1.5 gained. Over about 30% of the enemy force has now been lost. More and more of these enemy units are routing. At least charge into that battery, because I'm not going to catch the rest of those guys. Charge! 22 more casualties inflicted. Nice. Good job, 1st Vermont. You're getting your due for missing out on a lot of the heroism of the last battle. Meanwhile, the 14th Pennsylvania, which were the heroes of the previous battle, they suffered about 20% casualties. Kind of would think Lockwood would be more than insignificant fame-wise after what they did last battle, but some of that doesn't always translate very well. Briggs detachment, wipe that. Skirmishing detachment out. There you go. Victorious. 2,400 of the enemy infantry were casualties out of 500. So that's, what, better than a quarter? About a third of their cavalry were lost, 400 of 1,300. All 20 of their guns were lost. 3,100 casualties out of a total of 10,000 for them. We lost 966 out of 10,125, one gun, 250 of our 1,400 cavalry, and 696 of our 8,300 infantry. A nice major victory near Hanover Junction that should help the Union cause as we try and break the morale of the Confederate arms. The second major victory I believe I've been a part of, but the first where I have been the individual in command. National morale by them drops almost by 1%. And there you go, a nice little victory. Brigadier General Sweeney has become famous and an inspiration for his men. But again, my readiness is going to be too bad to do anything with my boys because we don't have good supply right now. So we're kind of stuck in place. So this will be probably basically a hollow victory. But at least we embarrassed Polk. What were the details behind that fight? The enemy suffered 3,087 men as casualties, 370 killed, 1,434 captured. That's a considerable amount of boys that'll never be coming back, including a full regiment that was destroyed. We lost 966, 135 killed, 182 missing. Our supply situation is critical. We did capture 2,100 rifles and 5 guns from the battlefield and sent 1,500 prisoners of war to the camps. I didn't see B's division. I guess he was there because the casual or the strength engaged definitely. I fought like Napoleon himself and received well-earned fame. Did you though? So if we go to you, did you gain fame? Oh, wow. You betcha. Legendary fame there. 5 stars. Everyone knows his name and deeds. Hell yeah. There you go. Meanwhile, Brigadier General Sweeney also gained some fame, apparently. Fame. Oh, really? So I've got... Of my 4 brigade commanders, only 1 is a veteran of the Mexican-American War. 2 are political generals. 2 are volunteers as well. So there's that. My fame is legendary. Hell yeah, brothers. Everybody loves me. I could become a lieutenant general. I only need 3,400 more prestige. I could do it. I don't know what I would be if I was the lieutenant general. Would I become the commander of all the armies? Then I could end the war. I could do it all. That would make me the most senior ranking general, wouldn't it? No, Winfield Scott would still have me. We'd both be lieutenant generals, but in theory, he'd have seniority. But I do think it would make me the most senior ranking of the field commanders. McDowell has a major generalcy. McClellan as well. Butler. See no lieutenant generals. So yeah, it would make me the top dog. I could take command of the armies. I could fix everything. Why wasn't the 1st Division in that fight? Why was it all me? They're like right there, right next to him. Major General Stone. I mean, I'm happy you let me command the force, but through your own inaction, but strange. You'd think my boys would be happy. It says they're mad because they don't like the officers in command. It's kind of like, well, guys, you're winning battles. So I don't know what to tell you. If we go to strategy here, national support is 32. We have to break their morale, which means what? National morale below 25. National morale is 49, so we're still a little ways there. They've actually won more battles than us, but they've taken considerably more casualties. Yeah, if we clear the bastards out of Fredericksburg and give us a clear shot south, maybe I should take command of the armies, because at this point it's kind of like a lot of armies are just sitting around. If I did become a lieutenant general, well, I wouldn't command everything though. They'd probably just put me in command of 1 field army. I'll have to think about that. In any event, guys, though, I think that's going to do it for this video. Let me know if you want to see more of this. Feels like we're in a little bit of a stalemate, but at least we're famous now. Everybody shall love me and despair. I'm going to look like a wet mop. But yeah, guys. This was The Historical Gamer. Once again, thank you very much for watching. as always. And until next time, I'm out. Bye-bye.